Pokémon is the best-selling franchise in the world, and Minecraft is the best-selling game of all time. So what would happen if we combine the two? Cobblemon is a mod for Minecraft that adds, you guessed it, Pokémon to the game, and today I plan to document my first 24 hours in-game. And if this video can get 50 likes, I'll spend 100 days in Cobblemon. And the last thing that I would like to note is the last time that I touched Minecraft was in 2014, so I'm not the best at it. But anyways, with that all being said, I spawn in and I'm given the choice of the starter Pokemon from each of the 9 games. So I choose Sprigatito because, well, it's cute. That was kind of my only reasoning. Then I got my first taste of battle by fighting this Pat Rat, and yeah, it was just like playing Pokemon, but in Minecraft. Speaking of Minecraft, I do the basic things like creating a crafting table, and I make some wooden weapons. I also found what I thought was food, but instead was an apricorn, which is used to create Pokeballs. Then I find this chest with some pretty decent loot, I think. I don't know. I know I sound pretty dumb, and well, that's because I am. But anyway, I soon started digging in hopes of finding a cave to get some materials like copper, which I didn't know was a thing until now, but what I did know was iron. So now on to my next course of action, obtaining food. And as it turns out, right next to my base was a pillager outpost, and these guys get really annoying really fast. So after slaughtering the local wildlife for their meat, I headed back to the mines in hopes of finding diamonds. But after spending a good 2 hours in there, I had nothing to show for it except for the fact that Sprigatito leveled up. I also want to mention that I found this place, but my instincts told me to not check it out, so let me know what it is in the comments below. After my unsuccessful mining adventure, I found a village next to my base, and I'm not sure exactly what that means, but I just assumed that it wasn't good and just stole some food and a link cable and ran. Now with a stack of bread, I was ready to level up my Sprigatito. My only problem is that when I step foot outside, it pisses off the pillagers, and whenever I defeat one, 2 more take its place. And of course, this leads to my first death 3 hours into my game. Then I come up with a plan. If I rob their base, they'll stop spawning. At least I think. And well, that kinda backfired. Not only did I have 8 of them chasing me at the same time, but they also found out where my base was, and from there they would just continue to spawn camp me, leading to multiple deaths. But after clawing through the masses, I finally got to my furnace and smelted some iron armor, and officially I was going to put an end to these Squidward lookalikes once and for all. I entered their base, climbed up to the very top, and all they had were potatoes. And if anything, that made them more of a nuisance. So I ended up retreating back to my cave like the hermit I was, and now, hiding in my mind, I decided it was a better time than ever to find some diamonds. But instead, I found a shit ton of gold, which is really good. You'll find out why later. But after that, I finally found a diamond. Or so I thought, because it just turned out to be a dawnstone. But more importantly, I finally figured out how to craft some Pokeballs. So I went back into the mine to find a new teammate, and on my way down, I finally found some diamonds. And my newest addition to the team was this Ghastly, as well as I crafted a shield to make dealing with these guys a bit easier. Now it was time to form a team. My first attempt at catching something was a failure, not because of the Pokemon themselves, but because of these annoying bastards. But after a little while, I was finally able to capture an Alolan Meowth, as well as a Pidgey, a Rookity, and a Mareep, and I evolved Sprigatito into Florgato. And now at the 5-hour mark of my adventure, I decide to move out, mainly because of all these unwelcome guests that keep coming into my hole. So for the next 5 hours, I found a plot of land, leveled the ground, cut and placed wood, and smelted sand into glass. Then I made a garden for food. So now I was living the American dream in Minecraft, because there's no way in hell I can live that dream in America now. So now, 10 hours in, I finally had a home. A very ugly home, but one nonetheless. I also captured a Machop, and it turns out, in order for me to use him, I need a PC. And with these easy to get ingredients, I crafted a PC. Now, all I needed was a healing machine so I could start leveling up my Pokemon in battle. But by looking at these ingredients, I knew it was going to be a bit of a challenge. My first goal was to get more diamonds, but I kept running into the same problem as before. Every time I tried to go deeper, I kept running into this, and I just didn't want to die any more than I had to, okay? So after spending another 2 hours looking for diamonds, I was at a complete loss. And then finally, something great happened. I caught the damn Lickitung that was eating my wheat, but more importantly, I came up with a plan. If I dig straight down, then I could reach the level where diamonds are most commonly found. So the next 3 hours of my life consisted of digging a 2x2 hole in the Earth's surface. And after strip mining for a while, I was finally able to craft a diamond pickaxe. Also around the 15-hour mark, I I decided to start my apricorn farm in order to get different types of Pokeballs. And remember all that gold from earlier? Well, it's needed to make one of the best Pokeballs in existence, the Quick Ball, as well as the Ultra Ball, but the Quick Ball is way better. Anyway, now I was finally able to catch them all, starting with a rare spawn of this Riolu, Lechonk, Teddiursa, Geodude, another rare Pokemon in Eevee, Igglybuff, Bouffalant, Baneri, and finally a Miltank for now. I then headed back to my old base and mined some obsidian from this portal. I also caught some new Pokemon before heading back, and once I got my nether room set up, another hour passed. Also, one more thing I'd like to mention is when I was tending to my apricorn farm, I found this Porygon just chilling in my house, so now I have a new teammate. I decided to use my limited diamonds on a sword for the nether, and then all of a sudden I noticed this castle, and the only way I could get to it was to build to it, so hopefully nothing bad happens. Okay, that's fine. I'll just use the rest of my diamonds to craft some new equipment, and I'm sure it won't happen again. But hey, at least once I get a Charcadet I can evolve it. Now after playing around, it was time to get the actual ingredients I came for. And after an hour of failing to kill a ghast, I finally got one. Now all that was left was a max revive. To make a max revive, I need 3 normal revives and a Vivachoke. The Vivachoke was easy enough. I found the seed for it in the abandoned village. I now see why the village is abandoned. Now, to craft a normal revive, I need a bottle of honey, which I got from killing a combi, and healing powder, which comes from smelting revival herbs, which is found in lush caves, and luckily for me, I lived right next to a jungle, and after mining for a couple hours, I was finally able to get some healing powder. Then I got some honey from the bees next to me to create a revive, and then once I had enough, I harvested the Vivachoke, and I finally got a max revive. And now, with all the ingredients at the 21-hour mark, I was finally able to create a healing machine so I could finally level up my Pokemon. I also made a pasture PC so that more Pokemon could come out of my PC and get more XP as well. I also caught some brand new Pokemon like Bellsprout, Mankey, and Charcadet. I also learned that small Pokemon like Eevee can ride on your shoulders, so that's a pretty cute feature. Now after getting enough Pokemon, it was time to see how many I could evolve with the 3 hours I had left in game. My first one to fully evolve was Ghastly and the Haunter, and thanks to the link cable I stole from the village, I was able to get Gengar. I'm not exactly sure why my cat's doing that, but okay. My next to evolve was Mareep into Flaffy, and then soon into Ampharos, followed up by Charcadet evolving into Armarouge. Then after battling some more, Florgato evolved into Meowscarada. Mankey was already at the level of evolution when I caught it, and after punching random animals with a ghost type attack, he evolved into Annihilate. Just like Mankey, Tyrogue and Bellsprout were both at evolution level when I caught them. The only thing now was a Leaf Stone to get one of my favorite Pokemon. My only problem was I only had an hour left and 3 more Pokemon I wanted to evolve. So I spent my last hour of playtime looking in the lush cave for a single Leaf Stone, hoping that I wasn't going to be too late. And just as I was giving up my search and returning to the surface, I lucked out. First, by getting my Eevee to max friendship, secondly, by getting a Leaf Stone, and thirdly, getting Riolu to max friendship. So, with 10 minutes to spare, I got a Victory Bell, an Umbreon, and a Lucario for my final team in Cobblemon. I would absolutely love to do this challenge again in the future. And of course, I'd like to give myself more time because I haven't even scratched the surface of this game. I also would like to get more experience with Minecraft as well. So if you guys like this, maybe I'll do more. If you guys want to see more challenges in video games, consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps it out. But anyway, thank you for watching and have a great day.